Okay, welcome again, Alan here. We're going to do the front pads on a Renault Laguna. We've done the rear. There's already a video on YouTube for that, but today we're going to do the front pads, and we're going to take you through, show you how to do that. I was quoted some ridiculous price from a garage of over £100 for these, but I can get them for £15 on the net, so can you, and that's always going to cost you if you do it yourself. So follow me, we'll do it together, suit the instructions. First of all, I've got the bonnet up here because first thing to do is just undo the filler cap for the brake fluid, and that releases the pressure, so when we push the piston in later on, it allows expansion room. So I need to show you where this is, and on this particular model it's down here. You can see that down there, see the yellow filler cap. We just got to undo that and take that off, so we'll take that off and then we'll continue with removing the wheel. Now there's no need to show you the wheel coming off, I'm sure you all know how to do a wheel, so I'll break the video there and we'll come back in a second. Okay guys, I assume you know how to get the wheel off, and as usual, obviously, you know, I've used a trolley jack, and don't forget the axle stand for extra safety. And now we're going to move on to the caliper itself, and there we have the brake caliper, which we're going to remove in a minute. There's two bolts through there, which I'll close in on and show you. Right, the two bolts that we've got to undo, I will now show you. There's one there, if you can see him. There he is there, holding the caliper on, and there's another one further down on the bottom. I'll get it down to it. It's a bit awkward, it's right down there, I think you can just see it. So there's one at the top here, and one down the bottom. I'm not going to get it a better angle for you up that way. I'll shine the torch like so. I can't see whether it's got it or not, but I think it's got that bolt. You can see him there, can you? Okay, and they're the two we've got to get undone. Now to get those undone, on this particular Renault, it's an 18mm chrome vanadium, decent spanner, because this will need some knocking out, I can tell you. They won't just turn. It will need a good belt with a hammer. Okay, so we're going to go to that next. Okay then guys, we've got the bolts undone, so we've got to tap him off now and get the caliper off. It's usually pretty tight, so we're going to need to tap it with this to get it off. So we can on that there. Once you've got it loose, she'll come off. She'll come away. Just watch your brake pipe there. Make sure that doesn't put too much strain on there, and knock it off. Should get it off in a second. Okay guys, I had to stop just there because I couldn't hold the camera and get it off, but there's the caliper off, and you can see the old shoes in there, fairly well worn. I'll just put the camera down now. I'll get someone else to hold it while we take those out and show you how they come to part. Let's get the new ones in. Okay, the next bit is to take the old pads out. They should just lift out. Can you see where they hook in there? There's just a little hook there and there. I should pull them out. It sits in a little recess there, the back of that. Can you see that through there? So this back one's got this spring affair, so you can see now that that one sits back inside that caliper, and you can see how quite worn that pad is. So we take that one out, and then this one should also slip out, but I've got the spring on there, so I'll get this off first. Okay, just get the other one out now, and that one's virtually out now. You can see it there. Okay. That's it, she's out, and that's them both out now. Pretty well worn. So we're going to replace those now with some new ones. What else you've got to look at now we've got the pads out is that piston there has got to be pushed back in, because obviously we won't be able to fit our new pads in there until that's pushed back, because there won't be enough room, because the new pads are obviously not worn and they're quite brand new. So to get them to fit now, we've got to squish that thing right back in. So I'll show you how to do that. Okay, something else guys, just so we can get the tool in here, I'm taking the anti-rattle spring off. It's the pads to stop them making a noise, and the vibration. We're going to take that out of the way, because it is right slap dab in the way. So you just pull it out. You can see it's quite a simple affair. Just pull it out of the way, get that down out of the way. Okay, this is our caliper push tool in place. As you can see, it is a set tool, but they're only £25 on eBay. I bought mine. It's quite a good little kit if you do brakes and you want to do them yourself all the time. It's worth the money. Okay, and it pushes that piston back in. I've got it in place there, and just by turning this here, we can push that piston back. And it needs some turning, believe me, so you do need this tool or something that's going to push that piston back, because they're just too hard to get back without. So it's a tool worth thinking about getting. I quite like it, and it does do the job. So a tool worth getting. I think there's a little box of pieces. You want to show you, the little box of every type of car to fit, so it will fit all cars. And for £25, if you're going to do brakes yourself, worthwhile. I know it's an extra, but if not, you could always borrow them off a friend if you're down on a tight budget like me. I'm on a tight budget, but here we go, we've got to do these jobs. Be careful with this pipe when you're doing this, so don't strain that pipe there, because obviously all the weight is on there on this bit of pipe here, so you mustn't chaff or break that pipe in any way, because it's the main brake feed. Okay, there you go guys. Now you can see, and ladies if you're doing this job, that the caliper has pushed that all the way back in. So now we will easily now be able to fit the shoes. But as I say, if you've got some other means of doing it, by all means do it. Push, pull, use hammer, chisel, but don't damage anything, of course, but get them back. But if you can borrow this little toolkit from someone, then that's great as well. But as you can see, that's right back in there now, right back in the slot, so it's going to be easy to put our new pads on. We'll just show you this little hard part of this job, I guess. The new shoe, as you can see, it's got 3 little pins there. They've got to slit down into that body there. Now this can be a bit hassly. You can try and do it like this, but I think probably personally it may be better to put some grease on those pins, and it'll probably slide in easier. So we'll have a go. Okay, found the answer to this one, this back one, getting the pins in, and it was quite simple. A bit of grease actually, a bit of grease, and the back one pushes in, which is the hardest one. So, okay, this other disc just plops up into position there, just goes in, you can see it's fairly easy there, just slots up into position. It's just sitting around because I think, yeah, it just sits there until we get this holding spring will help hold it in place until we get it back over our pad. So this is not too bad at all. I'll just get that spring back now, put the camera down and do that for you. Okay, just to show you that this last part is the hardest part probably. We're getting the inner pad in now, and as you go, I've got to get this spring back to hold this back. It holds the whole thing together nicely. It's like an anti-rattle, anti-vibration, stop brake squealing thing. But it's got to get up over that log there. It's got to go in that hole, I've got that side over, but you've got to hold that pad there and get over, and try not to get any grease on the pad itself with your fingertips. I know my hands look greasy, but they're actually just black and dirty, so don't worry. I'm just going to try and get that over now. We will have to struggle with this bit, I'm afraid. Okay, finally we've got this damn spring on that holds this shoe back in place, this disc pad back. You've got to get back over there. Once it's back in, it holds them nicely together now. And now we're ready to put the whole thing back in place over the 2 bolt holes. So we'll do that next. Okay, there's the caliper in place. I'm just tightening the bolts up now. And you can see the bolt down there, I think just about. I'm just planning on turning up. So once I've got this tight now, we're virtually there. We can put our wheel back on and get the jack back down. We'll do that in a second and show you the finished thing. Okay then, so there we have it guys. Wheels back on. I'm no mechanic, I'm just a DIY man like yourself. We've got to do it on a budget, we've got to do it on the floor. We're not like mechanics can stick these things up in the air on a lift and do it all nice and easy and show you on a car that's probably not been dismantled ever. This is a pucker, as you can see, an old Renault on the floor, 2007 model, and that's the pad done. Don't forget, you've got to do the other side. You can't just do one. That took me about 45 minutes. So for about an hour and a half's work, you've saved yourself a lot of money. Okay, don't forget, last thing to do guys, before you don't forget this very important one, to put your filler cap back on, okay, back on the reservoir before you go. Test them out, give them a burn in. They will burn in for a little while, for the first 50 odd miles or so, and that should be it. And hope you've enjoyed the video. There is another one on the rear as well, that's also on YouTube, and lots of others, videos how to do things and music videos and so on and so forth that I've got on YouTube. Derriton 33, one word right across, if you want to check out my other stuff. And thanks for watching.